And then I remember they took us to a detention center and we stayed there for 2 years.
They say you're shaped when you're really young.
I never had enough money to buy any food from the canteen.
No one remembers the shit. They just see the cars and the houses.
You know, life is good. I'm having fun. I'm really lucky to be where I am today.
Do you want to be known for something?
If I can make a difference in one person's life, I've done my job. When you give, you get back 10 times more.
Welcome to Never Not Building, the podcast where we dive into the minds of the people who never stop creating, scaling, and pushing the limits of what's possible. I'm Andrew Rasso, and today's guest is a powerhouse of persistence and proof that you don't need a silver spoon to build a golden empire. Sam Bashiry went from repairing modems in his garage to building one of Australia's most successful telco businesses, Broadband Solutions. Gritty, customer-obsessed, and built from the ground up with absolute zero shortcuts. But Sam's not just a founder. He's a fighter and a storyteller and a straight shooter when it comes to business growth, resilience, and backing yourself when no one else will. This is a conversation about grit, reinvention, and the mindset it takes to build again and again and again. Sam, thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
I feel like a lot of the things that we've experienced is probably very, very similar. But when hearing about your story, especially coming from an immigrant background, from a war-torn country at a very young age, you'd have to find your feet a lot. Do you mind telling us a little bit about how that happened? I think it was the age of 10 you came here and probably didn't know anyone and with your family, very scary. So I'd love to hear more about that.
You know, you say very scary, but at that moment you don't look at it like that. But when you look back, you're like, wow, how the fuck did I do that? So yeah, look, I was 10 years old. We left Iran. We went to Turkey and we got fake passports and came to Australia and we basically applied for asylum. It was me, my mum and sister. So I think it was 1989. It was probably we were one of the first people that's ever arrived in that manner into Australia. So they were kind of really confused and they didn't know what the hell was going on. I remember them asking for a passport and my mum was like, no passport. I'm like, what do you mean no passport? I have a vivid memory of little things. It's actually funny how like out of big situations, you could remember little things. I remember them pulling us aside and searching our bags and getting the German Shepherds to come sniff the bags and stuff. And it's kind of like daunting at that age, you know. And then I remember they took us to a detention center and we stayed there for 2 years. So the detention centers back there were made for people that overstay their visas. So if you come to Australia, you overstay your visa, they put you there before they send you back to your country. So it wasn't really made for long terms. It was made for maybe a month maximum, right? So we were there for almost maybe a year and a half. I think definitely under 2 years, year and a half or so, and couldn't speak English, had no family, and then from there we moved into a hostel. Basically, the hostel was made for people that came as migrants to settle into Australia, and it was fight or die kind of thing, you know. But as a kid, I think it's much easier. I think I really have a lot of respect for my mum. I think she was in her mid-30s to come to a whole new country without anyone and having to look after me and my sister. And but yeah, like, you know, I remember the Catholic Church. You know, I'm Muslim, and the Catholic Church was probably one of the biggest helps for us. I remember they gave us our first black and white TV with the digital knob that you turn and the antenna. And it was such an exciting moment as a kid to actually have a TV, just, you know, a black and white TV, you know. So I have vivid memories of those little things. But yeah, mate, look, you know, it wasn't easy, but it is what it is.
Is it a struggle to, I mean, a lot of my childhood, people ask me questions, I can't remember much, to be honest. Is it something that you do remember here and there, or is it something you can remember like it's really vivid to the extent that, because it would have been, you're 10 years old. Yeah. It's a very daunting process to go from one country to another in detention centers like that shapes a boy.
Yeah. I do remember. You remember things when, if you go through trauma, you remember those traumas. Like I remember even in Iran, we had the war in Iraq and Iran, and I remember the missiles coming, and I remember the sirens going off, and I remember we had to run. So as soon as you hear the sirens, you have to run and go underneath the basement near a pillar, because that's the safest area to stay if they bomb their building. So because of those things, you remember those things. I remember like certain vivid memories because of the trauma. you know, so it sticks with you.
It's-
And you don't think about it. It's funny, I've never really spoken about this. I actually saw a psychiatrist probably 10 years ago, roughly that. And because I'm a massive believer of, you know, you should really work on yourself to become the best version of yourself, right? We invest money on nice things, this and that, but they don't make us better, right? They're just fun. And we don't really invest money in ourselves to make ourselves a better person because I'm full of faults, right? I'm far from perfect. And I saw a psychiatrist, and you know what he said to me was that he said, it's really difficult to help someone like you because you've learned to compartmentalize things. It's actually quite interesting. So as a kid, you learn to compartmentalize things. So this is one way of dealing with trauma. And for me, that was the way. So you just try and pretend it didn't happen. Or it did happen. You walk out of the door, you close the door, you don't think about it anymore. So the only time it really comes up is when you have these conversations, you know, you don't sit there and think about it. You just forget it, you know.
It's so funny you say that because I've never been a big fan of therapy.
Me neither.
I don't want to talk about my feelings.
No, me
Well,
neither.
and a few years ago, I was going to a therapist.
Yep.
I traveled out to go see a
Yep.
therapist. And I never really looked into my childhood
Yep.
the way that I've looked into my childhood. I'm like, oh,
Makes
they
sense.
say you're shaped when you're really young. That's why I was shaped
Yeah, man.
the way I was
Yep.
and the way I am,
Yep.
which is wild when you think about
Yeah,
it.
it is.
Do you think that all these moments that you've gone through, has it shaped your entrepreneur journey? Do you think it's easier to do amazing things when you've gone through hardship? Or was that just something that you've always wanted to do,
No.
since you've been small?
I didn't even know what a word entrepreneur meant back then.
Well, I still don't know how to
I had
spell
no
it.
fucking idea what that was, right? We were very fucking poor.
Yeah.
Right? So we went from having a lifestyle that not many people have in Australia, like really having everything. You know, we had drivers, we had nannies, we had people that took us to school. We had like over there, if you have money, you have money. Like this, like different amount of money, right? So going from that to nothing, right? We lived in a commission house. I know it sounds silly, but I never had enough money or any money to buy any food from the canteen. Really wearing hand-me-downs, having the worst shoes in the school, and all that kind of stuff. And so you get a choice to either say, fuck, my life is terrible. Oh my God, why me? Start taking drugs, start doing silly things, you know, to numb yourself so you forget that feeling. Or you say, you know what? I'm actually going to change my life. I'm going to do something about it. You know, God's giving me hands, giving me, you know, time. It's put me in one of the best countries in the world. So I'm actually going to do something about it. I'm going to change the cycle. And you don't know what you're going to do, but you fall into something and you make sure that you become the best at that one thing, because that's your survival tool to help you to get where you want to. And for me, that's what happened, you know?
Before we start talking about the specifics of your entrepreneur journey, there's a few things that we have in common. One thing that you've seen, and please, you don't have to talk about this as much as you want to, is just about your father and how he was a pivotal part to your life and to where you are and the things that you've achieved now, you know, in whether it's in your personal life or your business life. Do you mind touching a little bit on that and why he was such an important figure in your life?
Yeah, of course. Like, your mom shapes the woman that you meet in life, because that's the first female in your life that you meet. Let's not make it creepy, but usually that's the person that, you know, you look for traits in the person you end up marrying, stuff from your mom, because your mom is your first female role model, right? Because that's the first one. And your father's the first, obviously, male role model. And one thing that stands out about my dad, which I carry in my life, to my detriment at sometimes, is kindness. My dad was a very kind man. He's still a very kind man. He's a go-lucky guy, has a laugh all the time, especially with what he's been through, which is astonishing how someone that's been through so much in his life can be like that. So, yeah, my dad was a massive, you know, important part of my life. And I have a lot of respect again for my mum and dad because of the sacrifices they made. I wouldn't have what I have or live the life that I do, no matter how good or whatever, if they didn't make the sacrifices to bring me and my sister here today. And they lost a lot to do that. And I don't think I could do that right now. Like, maybe if I was put in the situation, I could, but it just takes a lot for a person to give up everything for their kids. And but yeah, one of the things that stands about my dad is his kindness and his belief in people, which is really silly in a way, but it's so beautiful. Because I find it very difficult to find kind people, like genuinely kind people. And I think it gets harder as you become more successful because everybody wants something, right? It's all a transaction. But my dad's taught me that you should never give up on believing that there are good people out there. Because if once you lose your faith in that, then you're never really happy because you paint everything with the same brush. And amongst 100 people, there's one amazing human being. And as long as you have that belief and you're open to that, once you meet that one amazing human being, it makes it worthwhile. You get fucked over a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
I've been there.
We all do. Yeah. But man, like, you have to be smart enough. Yeah.
It's funny. I was literally having a conversation with my dad yesterday, and we were talking about the kindness of people. And it's like, after you've been fucked over 10, 15, 20 times, you start hating the world, you know, and it's a very dangerous position to be in. Yeah. And then you meet someone and you're like, this person is amazing. There are good people out there, right? Yeah, and I think as we get older, it's just finding that contention between who's real and who's not. And, I think from a business perspective, when you've had great staff, and you've had bad staff, and you have to eventually change the business or exit some staff, how they leave and that perception, really their true colours come out. And that goes in relationships. That goes in from a business perspective. But the good thing is about having great families, and I don't think everyone is lucky enough to probably have the upbringing that we have. I mean, my dad was a very, very hard man, but shaped the man that I am today. Is that there are kind people out there.
Yeah, man.
And that's an important thing.
Yeah, and you got to believe in that.
You do. Okay, getting on to the exciting bits of entrepreneurship, and I'm sure a lot of what the listeners want to start hearing about. We read somewhere you were sitting in Melbourne in traffic, and you sort of you had a bit of a breakdown of what's going on. Can you tell us a little bit about how that shaped up? Because at the same time. Yeah. You said something very interesting was people sort of fall into things. It's like when I see a billionaire who's packing boxes or who makes boxes, like, how did you get into that? Yeah. And then when I look at your business, I'm like, oh, man, how did you do that? Yeah. So I'm keen to hear how you fell into it. And
sure. In my mid-20s, I think it was, I was going to uni. Funnily enough, I never knew I had ADHD until 12 months ago. It took a lot of people pushing me for probably 10 years. And every time they said that, I found as a stigma. I'm like, hey, I'm not sick. There's nothing wrong with me, you know? And it took a lot of explaining that, like, there's a lot of successful people that have ADHD. It's not a sickness. Go check yourself out. And I saw the doctor after 5 minutes. Oh, yeah, you're right up there, man. Like, whoa.
You're the leader.
Whoa. I'm like, do I have this? He goes, oh, yeah, big time. I'm like, okay, cool. Anyways, the reason why I'm saying that is that I struggled at university, right? And now I know why I struggled. Because I go to a lecture room and I never lasted more than 20 minutes. I couldn't sit there for an hour. I couldn't listen. My head was everywhere. So I really struggled with uni. I went to one uni first. I left that and I went to a different uni and I just didn't enjoy it. I struggled with it. So I didn't know what I was doing with my life. I had no plan. I had no idea what I was doing. And I remember going to living at home with my mum and dad. I think I was, 24, 25, something like that. I had a moment where I sat in the car and I'm like, fuck am I doing with my life? I'm going to end up becoming a loser. I'm hanging around the cafeteria all day with my friends at uni. I'm meeting girls and, all that silly shit that we do when you're young. And I went to Centrelink. I don't know if you guys have, it's called Centrelink.
Centrelink, yeah.
So I went there and they had these little computers, like little box computers, and you click on it and you find a job. And I liked IT. I was never a geek. I was never like really full on into like IT, but I like games. I played. I had a Commodore 64. I don't know if you know what a Commodore 64 is. It's one of the first computers. It had a floppy disk. You had to put a floppy disk in there. So I thought, you know what? I like computers. I like games, and this is when just internet came. Like this is dial-up internet just came to Australia.
Ding, 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 ding,
Yeah,
ding.
man. Yeah. That's it. So I picked a job. I can't remember, 485 or something, Collins Street it was. They got me an interview. I went there, level 14, the doors open. There's this young receptionist, and I see all these kids in skateboard gear running around with headsets and stuff. I go, I'm here for an interview. She goes, I'll go down the corridor and see Stuart. I went to Stuart. He goes, hey, what do you know about computers? I said, yeah, no, I know a little bit about turning them off, turning them on, and I know this and that. He goes, $7.50 an hour, you start tomorrow. So to answer your question, how I started in this industry, that's how I started in that industry, right? So I put a headset on in a call center, and if you couldn't connect to the internet, you call us and we help you. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing, right? But I was the first one there, the last one out. I asked a lot of questions. I learned a lot. So I did that for a number of years. And then I thought, this is a terrible job. Everyone's angry because they can't connect them again. You know, this is depressing. I can't keep doing this, you know, for $7.50 an hour. So I applied for a sales job. And when I applied for sales, that's when broadband ADSL, which is a kind of technology that came out, which is faster than dial-up. I applied for a job. Through a friend of mine that used to work for me, he went to that company, and Simon, and I said, Simon, can you hook me up with a job here? He goes, yeah, look, it's a family business. Matthew and Sally are the owners, husband and wife. I'll organise a time with Sally, and you can come and meet her. So when I met Sally, and I finished the interview, I asked for some feedback, and they said, oh, look, your English, like, it's not the best. You know, your punctuation is not the best to talk to CEOs and all that. So I don't know if it's going to work out, you know. I was pretty devastated. I said, look, any chance I could get a second interview? And Sally's like, yeah, I'm too busy. But you know what? You come and see Matthew. And Matthew, I don't know how to like describe Matthew. He's a genius. He's a mathematician, right? But he's one of those guys, again, I'm from Melbourne, like Smith Street. Smith Street's like where all the, I don't know, like the funky people that, you know, hippies and shit, you know? Yeah, cool guys, you know? They don't give a- He's one of those hippie guys, you know? So he interviewed me and he goes, no, you're cool. You're all right, you know? I'll give you a shot. Start. So I started there. I did that for a number of years. And through that process, I kept seeing companies buying companies, a lot of acquisitions and a lot of mergers happening because it's all mad. It was like a kid in a candy store. Like shit was blowing up into there, right? And I thought, you know what? I don't want to be 45 years old and get a tap on my shoulder and be made redundant with a big mortgage and all that kind of shit. And I always liked nice things. Even if I couldn't afford it, I somehow made it happen, you know? I get 10 jobs, I get a car loan of 15% to buy MR2. Fucking idiot. Yeah, 15%. I remember, like, I took my mum, like, come on, mum, please help me out. 15%. Fuck me. Anyways, so I thought, you know, I don't want to be that person. I want to be in charge of my own destiny. And that's where it started, man. I took out $1,000. It wasn't even $1,000. I think it was like $500. So we just rounded up to 1,000, right? For this stuff. Took it out, registered the domain name. I was driving. I thought Broadband Solutions. It kind of made sense. I went to Melbourne IT, typed it in. It was available. I went, fuck yes, I got that. I went to uni with two of my friends, and they were in IT, and I hit them up and I said, guys, let's get an office together, the three of us. We got 3 ways. And they did IT consulting and I did internet. And it was the smallest office in the whole fucking building. So the first thing we did was we tinted the windows because so embarrassed. We didn't want anyone to see how small our office was. 3 desks, right? 3 desks. And then we started our journey. And what I did was I put ads in billboards, like online forums, which was for free back then.
Yeah.
It's called Broadband Choice. And you go up, you make up your own plans and you put it up there, right? But the problem was, I made up all these plans and everything, but I couldn't buy it off anyone, you know, because no one would sell me internet. I'm like, this kid, I'm going to sell you wholesale internet. I went and did a spreadsheet. I met with Telstra and all that. And I was like, fuck off, no way. You know? You're going to leave $100,000 bond? Man, I had no money, $100,000 bond. Anyways, fuck, it's funny, hey, I forget these things and it's coming back to me now. Anyways, the company that I worked for, it was called FTEL, but they also had a division called DataFast, and DataFast was the wholesale division. So I went to a gentleman called Greg Ashmore. I said, Greg, hey, man, can you sell me some internet? And I'll sell it. He's like, oh, come on, man. No way. I'm like, come on. He goes, like, go away, you know? And then one day I was training at the gym and I get a phone call. It's like, hi, I'm so-and-so. I think his name was Steve from memory. We look after 20 or 30 BP truck stops and we need internet. I was like, oh, fuck yeah. I got the details. I went to Greg and said, hey, man, look, I got 20 or 30 sites. He goes, all right, come, let's sit down, you know. We did the qualification. We got the stuff done, priced it, and got the deal. Right? So that's when Greg sold me internet. I can resell it. Greg works for me now. For 20 years, he's been working for me, you know. It's funny. All the people in this story end up working with me, right? So he gave me my first shot. I did that. And then in traffic corner of Latrobe and Queen Street, pissing down rain, I'm like, fuck. I'm the marketing. I'm the support. I am everything. This is not good. Every time they call, they're going to hear my voice, you know. Funny enough, man, you know, I used to actually put my hand and pretend to be a different person. Every time I answer the call, man. I say, hello, John speaking. Hello, someone speaking. Because they wouldn't have done business with me. Just one person doing everything. Look how, like, you know, the shit we had to do.
I'm just gonna tell you how freakishly similar this is. There's a few things I did as well. And as a matter of fact, I used to work for a personal training company and I ended up hiring that guy under me for sales.
Yeah.
And I started my business with $1,000, but it wasn't $1,000. I think it was $380 to build the website. What I used to do, because I always wanted to seem bigger than what I was, is the invoices used to come in and I'd need to send it. So it was invoiced like 12 or 13. Yeah. But I'd go in and there was a website called Cloud PDF to Word. Okay, so the invoice would come through. Yep. I'd put it in the website. It'd come through. I'd change the invoice number from 15 to 476.
So you got more customers.
And I'd send it. And then I'd go in my signature. And whenever someone would email me about something I changed, I'd be a new person. Oh, this Andrew R or Andrew P in accounts or and these are the stories you don't remember. No one remembers the shit. They just see the cars and the houses and the love.
And it's scary at that moment because if you get caught, you're fucked. Yeah. People were like, what the hell? What am I dealing with? You know.
So the first segment we're going to do is Sam versus the Telco Titans, some big boys.
Yep.
So let's put you in the ring. I'm going to name 3 major players in your space. You tell me who to go head-to-head with and how you would win. So your 3 Telco Titans are TPG Telecom, one of the big guns, strong infrastructure, aggressive pricing, and a reputation for a no-frills service. Number 2, Aussie Broadband, known for their customer service, transparency, and strong play in the NBN market with a loyal following. And number 3, the big Telstra, the market giant, the legacy networks, deep pockets, and enterprise dominance, seen by some as slow-moving and overpriced. So who do you want in the ring and what's your edge? What's the playbook to out-innovate them and beat them?
I'll take all 3 in the ring. How about that? I'll take them all. And I'll tell you how I take them all, okay? TPG, they've lost touch. David Theo left that company when he sold to Vodafone, so they're finished. There were no frills. They were never about customer service, they were about price. So that's them. Aussie Broadband, great story, man. It's fucking great story. Small business. They were around where I started. Tiny business. They've done great, but they're consumer. They're not made for what I do. Now they get into business. I've been doing business broadband for 20 years. Telstra, they just lost. They're too big, you know. And everybody blames Telstra. Where we beat them all is I picked one vertical. I didn't want to be the best at everything. I wanted to be the king of hotels. I'm the fucking king of hotels, man. I understand the business inside out. I've made them do technologies that I've come up with for them to fucking do that no one else can do on purpose. So they stick with me. I've got under 1% churn rate over the last 20 years, which is unheard of. Over 800 hotels, which is over 80%, if not higher than all the hotels in Australia. And we're the fucking best at it. And they can come and they can take a few here and there, but they'll never beat me when it comes to hospitality. Outside of that realm, yeah, they've got bigger budgets, this and that, but nobody can touch us when it comes to that because that's my fucking kingdom. And I've been working on it for 20 fucking years.
Okay, the second segment is the 100K play. So Sam, here's a hypothetical. You have to start again. You don't know anything. You don't know anyone. You don't have any contacts or networks or anything like that. I'll give you 100K. I've already paid the tax on it. Don't worry about it. But you've got to make your way from day one. What are you doing again?
Yeah, good question. I don't know. Maybe I'll do what I do now and do it better because I know more now than I knew before. Or I'm really, really enjoying medicinal cannabis and put something towards something that is not a service but makes a difference in people's lives and helps people. Because you get a lot of gratitude and not feeling when you're helping people that actually have problems like PTSD and all this kind of stuff. So I would like to maybe put into something that gives me that satisfaction, not just the money satisfaction, but also the fact that I'm actually making a difference in people's lives.
That's nice. We recently saw that you'd gone to New York, you'd gone international. And this funny thing you mentioned there when you saw your marketing and your brand on a forum website. Yeah. I saw you were marketing in the middle of New York City.
Yeah.
Is that something that you feel has it got to a point? Because I know I get to certain points where I'm like, oh, the cars and nothing really matters anymore. But there's things that trigger me. Yep. Seeing that was that like something that brought back old memories? Was that something? And then you're hanging around some cool people, man, and you're like, how have I got here? You know, like, is there any moments that
surreal.
You're like, yeah.
It's surreal. It's pretty cool, man. Like, you know, for me, I've been doing this over 20 years and it gets stale sometimes, you know, because we're not a robot. Like, after all, there's a lot of pressure. Like, always say I'm responsible for within my family for 8 or 9 people, my parents and a lot of other people in my family that I'm responsible for. So if I stop, everybody's gone, fucked. So I have to provide for these people every day, which are my family, which I absolutely adore and love. And then my extended family, which is all the staff and all that I have to provide for. Because it's my responsibility to put food on their table.
Some people don't understand that as well. There's a lot of people.
It's a lot of pressure, man. It's a lot of pressure. And there's also some other stuff. So sometimes you get so consumed by it, things go past and you don't recognize it and you don't take it on board. But then for a moment, certain little cool things happen like that. And you're like, hey, man, it's pretty fucking cool. You know, life is good. I'm having fun, you know. And one of the things that I really started to learn is to stop and they say smell the flowers, but for me to stop and say, you know what? I'm really lucky to be where I am today. I'm really lucky to be alive. I'm very lucky to be able to breathe. I'm very lucky to be in the position that I am. I have nothing to complain about. And life is fucking good.
Life is good, yeah.
Because we forget, because we always just, you know, we try to do more. There's always someone better looking than you, someone tougher than you, someone richer than you in a different room. And all you're going to do is just climb from room to room. Millionaire, billionaire. It just keeps going. So you got to realize that a time comes that you should say, you know what?
What does it matter?
Enough is enough, man. I'm content. I'm okay. I can't buy a jet. I can rent one anytime. You know, it's enough. And that's very important. And I've got 2 kids, and I think as you have kids and a whole family, it starts to dawn. Otherwise, man, I've seen people that are very successful, very rich, but very poor when it comes to other sides of life. Because all they're doing is just hustling and they're never spending time with family.
It's scary because, and I've seen a few people recently, and they're lovely, lovely parents, and they're just so rich. You know, you go to their beautiful mansions, and then you meet their kids, and they won't even get up and gesture and say, "Do you want a drink? Do you want a coffee?" And it's heartbereaking. You know what I mean?
Like, touch, bro.
It's like, fuck the money.
Yeah.
The money can go. That to me is rich.
Yeah, man.
You know, so it's
that's a sacrifice. That's what they had to let go to have that. Everything has a price. Nothing in life is for free. So everything you do has a consequence and a price. And it's like, which one would I rather have? I'd rather go to the park with the kids and hang out and have a laugh and eat a burger than break my back for 40 hours to fucking buy 10 more cars and have all that other bullshit.
Yeah. No, it's... And just talking about sort of the motivating factor. Now, I remember coming across you, Sam, it was a few years ago now, and I'm like, this guy's sick. You know what I mean? He's got all these. He's got all these. He's got all these
They
cars.
belong
Like
to the bank.
everything, whether we own it outright, belongs to the bank. And I'm like, he's got all these cars, got his lifestyle, and I think what I've seen over the years, Sam, is that you've gone more from being the showy type to being the inspirational type.
Oh, thank you.
Is there a reason why you've made that transition? Because I feel like the whole idea of, and I'm from Dubai, so in Dubai it's so showy, like everything's about the perceived value, and there's no real heart. Well, what I get from you is that you actually care. You care about the next generation of people. You care about the motivating factor. Is there a reason why you've slowly moved?
I grew up.
To that perception.
I grew up, man. I grew up. I got older, and I learned what's important in life. Being young, you're young. You want to conquer the world. You want to show nice things and all that. And as you get older, man, like again, what's the meaning of life? And it's nice to give back because we know what it felt like. We know what it felt like not to have anything. We know what it felt like to be poor, to be picked on and bullied at school and all that kind of shit. And my wife always tells me, she goes, "What the fuck are you doing with this? You don't make money from this. What are you wasting time on this shit? You don't. It's got enough. You're not an influencer. You don't make any money." And all the talks that I do and stuff, I never take money, man. So everything I do, I never take a cent. I ask them to pick an amount that they like and put it towards charity. I never take $1 for anything I do. Maybe I'm stupid, but I do it because if I can make a difference in one person's life, I've done my job. And one thing I learned is maybe I do it for my own selfish reasons. When you give, you get back 10 times more. You do, man.
You do.
You do get back 10 times
indirectly. You always,
more.
you always do.
Yes.
And how at this, like you said something before, it's like, how much is enough anyway?
Yeah, man.
Like I've met some people in Dubai, and it's like it's all about like, man, you're worth 100 million. You're worth 500 million. Who cares?
We can still do the same thing as them.
You know what I mean? Who cares? We can go to the same restaurants. And we want to rent a jet, you can rent a jet.
Exactly.
It's very interesting. So when you now, because obviously you're still a big advocate of cars.
Yeah.
And you're still a big advocate of buying assets. Is there any thing that you are getting out of that anymore? Because I know I went through a stage where I'm like, I've got the Lamborghini for the weekend, the Lamborghini for the for during the week.
Yeah.
God, there's got to be something missing here because I'm not getting a kick out of it anymore. Do you still get the same vibe out of it you used to, or is it I'm sure as you've grown up, your intentions have changed and what's important?
Look, I always loved cars. I remember jumping on my dad's lap every morning and starting the car and putting it to first gear for him. As a kid, I always loved cars. I was always fascinated by cars. I always loved cars. I don't drive any of my cars. I love Rolls Royce.
Yeah,
I fucking love it, man. It's just the best car in the world as far as I'm concerned. Because again, I'm old and it's comfortable. So I'm really enjoying that. I got an electric one, which I was always against electric cars. I'm like, so boring shit. So I just bought a new electric one. I fucking love it. So yes, I still do enjoy that. Others I can't drive because I'm old. I get sciatica, man. My back hurts after 20-minute drive. I'm like, fuck this. Yeah. I can't walk for 3 days now. Fuck this. And I look like a Lambo gangster because of the way I look. I'm driving a Lambo and a Ferrari. Well, you definitely get pulled over. Yeah. And the copper comes and goes, "Oh, Broadband Solutions." He's like, "You in IT?" I'm like, "Yeah, man. I'm in IT." And they're really good about it. I'm like, I'm not a fucking gangster. Yeah. Anyway, so look, with those cars, no, not really. But, one thing I found about cars was it opened a lot of doors for me, which I would have never had an opportunity. So I did a lot of trips at Ferrari, the 7-year anniversary and all that. I've made so many amazing friends through that. And I would have never made those friends if it wasn't because of the cars. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. And I did a lot of business with a lot of people because of the cars. I met a lot of, I met some amazing people again in Italy. And some of them are already my customer. I remember one of them, I get a message when I was in Dubai coming home. He goes, "I use you." I'm like, "I use you? What the fuck is he talking about?" And then he sent a picture of the invoice. He's my customer. I had no idea he was my customer. Yeah. So it opens up a lot of doors and all that. But look, man, like in terms of priorities in my life, cars are not priorities in my life. Like they used to be. It was cool and all that. Priorities in my life was seeing my 9-year-old grow up now. You know, I have a 14-year-old and a 9-year-old. I missed a lot with the 14-year-old. I missed a lot because I was traveling, doing all sorts of shit. So for me now is to see her every day as much as I can in the morning and take her to school, do car karaoke together. She fucking hates it because my voice is terrible.
You'd still be the cool dad, right?
I don't know, man. I don't think so, dude. I don't think so because the 14-year-old doesn't hug me anymore. Like, hey, Laura, I'll give you $500 because I don't need your money. Fuck off that. But the little one still, like, you know, runs and hugs me. And man, it's so beautiful. It's so precious. I was never big on kids. Like, I never asked. Like, oh, let's have kids. Oh, we have to have kids. And, you know, we just did. And it's a miracle. It's such a beautiful thing. It's so pure. They love you for you. And all they want is for you to spend time with them. That's all they want. They don't care about fancy stuff. None of that shit. Just spend time with them. You know, it's really nice. So that's where my heart and my joy comes out of now.
Yeah, that's nice. It's scary because I obviously still do spend a lot of time in Dubai, and I've seen some very wealthy people with kids, and it's so materialistic.
Yeah, no.
It's like, Daddy, when's the driver going to come pick me up? Or Daddy, when are you going to buy me a rolls? It happens. Yeah. It happens. Yeah, so I think Australia's still got that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? The only thing that, you know, we're just talking about cars and talking about my parents. And I remember I was 23, end of 23. And I never really used social media. I didn't really like it. My dad always told me off about using it.
Yeah, my dad does too.
2023, end of 20, it was October 2023, and I posted a car that I bought.
Yep.
Which was a Rolls-Royce Wraith, funnily enough.
Cool, man.
And I posted it, and within 3 hours, my dad messaged me saying, take that shit down. Rapid fire, found a cliche or secret weapon. A lot of this stuff gets hit up on social media a lot. We probably know whether it's true or not, but I'm keen to hear your thoughts. So number 1, found a cliche or secret weapon. You've got to wake up at 5 a.m. to be successful.
I wake up at 5 a.m. no matter what anyway. But it's helping me be successful or not. I think it's very, very, and I struggle with this, yes, I'm not the best at it, is to have routine.
Yeah.
Routine is very important. Routine and discipline. I think discipline and routine says a lot about a person in life in every way or shape.
So it's funny, I saw a quote the other day, I think it was from a psychiatrist, and it said, specifically, if you want to know if a man is depressed, look at his discipline and look at his pattern every single day. And it's so true. When you don't have it, you have no structure. You start thinking too much, you're all over the shop.
Spot on, man. Yeah, and I think you have to have discipline with everything in life, with fun things in life, with work, everything. If you have no discipline, it takes over your life. Certain things will take over. Whether it's work, whether it's partying, whether it's whatever it is. And at the moment that takes over your life, you're finished.
Yeah, it's true. Hire fast, fire faster. That's an interesting one.
Yeah. Who told you that?
You heard it before?
I say that every day.
Yeah, there you go. So that's not a cliche. It's a secret weapon.
Fuck yeah, man. I say it every day. I said it 2 days ago to my GM.
I was there.
Yeah. It is very important, but because take your time to hire him, make sure you're picking the right person. I struggle with this. I'm fucking too emotional. I feel bad. So I know the guy's no good. Fuck, I've been doing this for a long time. Yeah. Let's give it another chance. You know? 6 months, then 12 months, then you can't get rid of him. You know? I fucking knew what.
And then you're the bad guy.
Yeah, you're the bad guy. I'm always the bad guy there anyway, so that's all right. I'm used to that.
This one's probably changed over the last few years, but build in public.
Build in public.
Because now it's like you can't build anything in public, right? You have to post your whole story on social media. You were showing me the other day. You go, I'm catching a train to work. It's like, oh, God.
Build in public. No, I don't know about that one. Yeah, that's interesting. I think yes and no, maybe. I think it's got its ups and downs.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better to be silent and just do it. And then once it's done, tell people.
True.
But I think
that's true.
We just get so excited. Like, I think men are very immature.
Yeah.
I think a 47-year-old man has the maturity of a 25-year-old girl. He's just fucking immature.
25-year-old girls mature, don't we?
That's what, these days they are.
Fake it till you make it.
100%, man. As long as you always deliver. Fake it till you make it, but as long as you always deliver. If you can't deliver, then no.
Interesting. Don't start a business with friends.
Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, I start fun things with your friends, like fun businesses, not a business that you want to build an empire. Because first of all, you're not starting with your friend, you're starting with their wife or husband and their kids and everything. There's 10 other people behind them that's in their ear. But also, what's more important, your friendship or business? You don't want to lose your friendship, man.
I think probably you can start with your friends, but it has to be fun and you both have to have money.
Yeah.
Because if
And
they
you
don't have
to both
money,
put in the same amount of work.
that's right. Yeah, that's when it
gets
starts.
tricky, man.
Yeah, partnerships are hard.
Yeah, man. I think two things in life, if you get right, you're a billionaire. Your wife or husband, life partner, and your business partner. They are very important two things in life, man. You get them wrong, you're fucked. You get them two right, you're okay.
Noted. Your first idea is never your best idea. Cliche or secret weapon?
Yeah, true. Not all the time. Yeah, I'll come with a lot of fucking ideas. They're not always the best idea. If I did them all, I'd be broke.
This is an interesting one. The customer is always right.
Nah, the customer's not always fucking right. But we make them feel like they're right because the saying goes, but no, they're not always right. But it's the communication with the customer that's very fucking important. How you communicate, I think communication is the key. But no, the customer's always right when you're starting and you have no money and you have to say yes to everything.
Yeah, I'll wash your car.
Yeah, man. But I walked away from one of the biggest deals of my life because the customer wasn't right. And I didn't want to sign that customer because that customer was no good. Like the biggest hotel brand, right, in Australia. And I didn't like the guy. He was not a nice guy. And I sat there and did my sums. I make more money from 5 hotels on one brand than I would have made over 300 hotels from this guy. You know why? Because he would have done my head in every day. He was an asshole. He was just not a nice person. And I don't want to have that kind of thing in my head. So I priced myself out of the market and I said, no, thank you.
Good. Sometimes it's not worth it, right?
No, man. Yeah. It's not.
Raise capital early or die trying?
I did die trying, but fucking, yeah, man, if I had it all over again, I'd be smart with it. Like, I use other people's money to do it. But no, me with my fucking ego, a lot of ego, I had to do everything my own way and my own money. Very stupid.
That's a wog mentality.
Yeah, very stupid, but fun.
If you're the smartest in the room, you're in the wrong room.
100%. Yeah, man. 100%.
There's a lot of people out there that know much more than we do.
I'm always learning. You can learn from absolutely everyone.
And last one, hustle beats talent when talent doesn't hustle.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, man. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you do nothing with it.
You know, some of my smartest friends, my biggest entrepreneurs, like they all follow the same pattern. It's like a lot of them aren't book smart, they aren't highly intelligent, but they're like, okay, I need to do this. I'll find a way to do it. And I'll work extremely hard to get it done. And honestly, I've got some amazing clients, and whenever I go see them, they're like, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. Well, do you know how to open a gym? No, but I'll work it out. Yeah. Do you know how to do this? But no, I'll work it out. Everyone else is still thinking about it.
I think it's an ADHD trait.
Yeah.
When you focus on something.
Yeah, I gotta go get tested.
Don't worry, I'm not getting the medicine, but I don't want the medicine.
I tried the medicine at university. I was the best studying person ever. So
it
worked. Yeah, it worked.
Oh, well, there you go.
I
think it'll take me another 6 months to get my medicine. So it took me 10 years to actually go to the doctor and do it. So it'll take me another 6 months at least to get the medicine. You know, one thing I get a lot, man, is people go, it actually happened to me 2 weeks ago again. I rolled up and made some batat, and they're really good to me. So I called them before I come to put the bulat, and I parked my car, so, you know. And there was 3 or 4 older gentlemen there outside having a cigar. And they looked at me and just smiled, and then we went inside, and the tables, my table was here, their table was there. They kept looking and smiling and whatever. We came outside. I don't know how the conversation started. We started talking, you know. And the guy said, hey, man, I've got to tell you something. The way you're dressed and what you're driving at, you're so different to what I thought you'd be. Right? Like, I don't mean to that for that to come across as an insult or anything or a good thing. And one thing I learned is, man, people will judge you no matter what. Right? And it's okay because I'll probably do it too. Like if I see someone looking homeless, I'm probably thinking they're homeless and they're probably a fucking genius. So it's just, you know what I mean? So
It's human nature.
it is. So you got to stop caring what people think because people will judge you no matter what, right? Based on your religion, based on your color, your culture, how you speak, which school you went to, all that sort of stuff, they judge you, right? They try to put you in a box. But man, they don't pay my fucking bills, so their opinion doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
You got to be yourself, and as long as you know you have a good heart, yeah, you make mistakes and do wrong things.
Yeah.
But as long as you have a good heart and you're a good person, that's all that matters.
And just so you guys know about Sam, when I first messaged a few people to be on my podcast, Sam, you know, we haven't been super close. We've always probably followed each other for a few years, but he's like, yeah, I'd love to be on your podcast. So I think there are genuine people in this world, and I think Sam,
Thank
you are most, and that's why you've probably been successful as well.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
What you give is what you get, and I think that's
Thank you.
That's very
and
important.
I feel honored to be here too, and it's really nice to see you do your podcast. It's a beautiful thing, you know.
Thank you.
So you know, when we can help each other out. Hey, look, we're having a good time. We're having a conversation. You know, why not, man?
Yeah,
why
absolutely.
Not?
So we'll touch base a little bit more about your business now. It's a very, very competitive space.
Very competitive.
You're playing in. I remember you made a post a few weeks ago. I think you were on a flight or you're coming back from somewhere. And actually, I want to talk about that in a second. But and you said you still do the things that you'd probably do early on. You were still trying to save and go to save clients where you probably don't need to anymore.
Well, but I want to.
Yeah. Why is that?
Because I hate losing, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking lose to someone else. We have a great product. I'm very confident in what we do and what we sell. And I love what I do still. There's days that I don't, obviously. But I still overall love what I do. I love technology. And I give a fuck. I don't want to lose clients, man. I worked very hard for them. Every client, you know. That's what happens. People get too big. Oh, yeah, that one can go. That one can go. 20 of those little ones can go. And then you start feeling it, right? It all adds up. Like little drops of water, right? So I still get involved where I can, and I think it's very important to do that.
Yeah, cool. I saw that you went to New York recently,
Yep.
and we touched base on it a little bit.
Yep.
And you were hanging around some very influential figures in the UFC. How did that come about? Alex Pereira?
Long story, man. I don't know if your listeners will be old enough to know or not, but one of my heroes growing up was Steven Seagal. You know Steven Seagal?
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah,
Cool.
the king.
All right. So Steven Seagal was fucking cool.
You're
right?
not that old, man.
Like, Steven Seagal was fucking cool. I told this story to a 25-year-old, and they're like, "What? Who's Steven Seagal?"
Yeah.
They had no idea. She's like, "Who's Steven Seagal?" I forget about it. So I found out Steven Seagal was coming to Melbourne. You pay $1,500 a plate to have dinner with him. Right. So I bought 2 tickets, one for me, one for my friend, to go see Steven Seagal. So, funnily enough, it was at a restaurant called Grady. Johnny DeFrancesco is one of my really good friends now, but I didn't know him back then. It was at his restaurant. They had a private room. We rock up. There's a table of 20 people. Steven Seagal sitting at the top. And there's a lady fanning him. I swear to God, I'm like, hey, what happened to Steven Seagal, man? He's got some lady fanning him. Big fucking unit, man. Big fucking unit. Like, he's older now, but big unit still. And I don't know if I should say this because in public, but he was fucking stuck up, man.
Is he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's very stuck up.
Yeah.
Didn't want to talk to anyone. Didn't want to have a lot to say. Great guy. I fucking love him, like, you know, but just didn't want to talk. I don't know if he was having a bad day or whatever. I remember making a comment saying, hey, man, my watch is better than yours, you know, just to fucking have a laugh, you know, just take a piss. And started laughing. And then part of his crew, he had a gentleman called George. Because Anderson De Silva was fighting in Melbourne then for the UFC. And George was the manager for Anderson De Silva. So me and George hit it off over the table. We started talking, we started laughing. I said, brother, you call me tomorrow, I'll show you Melbourne properly. I'll take you out. So I took George out. We had a massive night. Man, I don't know, the guy was like fucking 60. I threw the towel in before he did.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing. He's laughing at me. I'm like, oh, fuck. It's 5 o'clock, dude. What the fuck? I'm going to go home. And God bless him. Finished at 4:30, 5 o'clock. I went to the Federation Square and did a speech on TV. Fuck, I don't know how they do it. So I became very good friends with him. We kept in touch. and we just talked and stuff over time. When I went to LA, he left the keys for his house and car and everything for me to go and
That's
use, which I
nice.
never did. But it was a very kind gesture for him to even offer that. And then Alex Ferreira was part of that crew that he was there in Melbourne, but he was nothing.
He wasn't
there.
a thing then.
No,
right?
bro,
No.
he was nothing. So he just started and he came across with George and he came on the trip. I actually sat next to him because I said, hey, can I come to the game? They're like, yeah, man, you come with us. And there's a couple of trainers and Alex was there. I was sitting next to him. I don't know who he was, back then. So then they came to Melbourne. The guys came to Melbourne maybe, I don't know, 6, 12 months ago. And George hit me up because, hey, listen, the boys are coming down. If you don't mind, just give them a call, say hello. So I rang Alex, and Alex doesn't really speak English much. He just says Sharma. Sharma. But his coach, one of the coolest dudes, man. He's just a cool cat, this guy. He speaks really well English. I took the guys out to dinner. There's a crew of, I invited 5 or 6 of my friends. They came, and we just hit it off, man. I have a lot of respect for Alex because he's like, he was still very mindful of, even though he wasn't fighting, what he was eating. Didn't drink alcohol or nothing. And especially when I found out his story, where he came from and stuff. But just hit it off, man. We just became friends, and then stayed in touch. They came to Sydney not long ago. The boys came to my birthday. It was really nice to come to my birthday. And then when I was in New York, I'm like, hey, these guys are from US, man. I should reach out to see where the fuck they are.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, man, my gym's just 10 minutes away.
No
from
way.
yeah, Manhattan. So when I caught up with them, and yeah, man, like really, really cool guys. And he's opened up the trainers opened up a few gyms now, I think 2 or 3. And I would love to bring that here in Australia one day, a UFC gym, a proper UFC gym in Melbourne. So if it happens, happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But yeah.
I'm sure you'll
so,
get there. Awesome.
But yeah, that's how I met the boys.
Oh,
man.
awesome.
Yeah,
Beautiful. It's funny how it's like stepping stones leads to somewhere.
Yeah, bro. You never know who you cross
You never
paths
know.
with, man.
Never.
George, just a cool guy, man.
Yeah.
60-year-old cool guy with a big mustache. Just hit it off with you, man.
Awesome.
No, it was meant to be.
So before we finish up, beyond business success and everything like that, we talk a lot about legacy. Some people care about legacy. Some people don't. If you do care about your legacy, what do you want to be remembered for? Because you're such a nice guy at heart, and you sound like you got a beautiful family, and a lot of people love you. What is it that you want when someone thinks of Sam? What do you want to be known for? Something? Is there something?
Just a fun guy, man.
Yeah.
Someone fun and easygoing. I'm really easygoing, man. It takes a lot to piss me off. I just want just a fun guy, easygoing guy. What do I say in Australia? Fair income guy. Fair income. Nah, but man, I don't know. Everyone's gonna have a different perception of you, and as long as I do more good than bad, then I'm winning. I'm okay.
That's it for this episode of Never Not Building. If Sam's story doesn't fire you up, check your pulse. From garage beginnings to building serious momentum. It's proof that resilience and raw drive still win. If you've enjoyed this episode, subscribe to get updates on future episodes and share it with someone who's building their own empire.